One of my most favorite things to do is to go to the beach. If not the beach, I love going to the river. And it's weird because I can't swim. So it's not like when I go to the beach or I go to the river, I'm going to be the person who is going to go out in the water. Usually you will find me, if it's at a river, I'm somewhere under a tree just looking out at people reading a book. Or if I'm at the beach, I'm on the seashore just observing or just lying down on a towel or something. And the thing about it, I believe that there is this fear of drowning, and that's why I don't venture out into the deep. And for about over a year, I started having these dreams about a large body of water and about being afraid to go in. And I think what happened is that that fear of drowning was translated into my dreams. And I remember there was this dream in particular that I had that I want to share with you. I had this dream that I was leading a group of people through a forest. And I was taking them to a place, some promise, some place we were going to. And I was the person who knew the way. So we went through this forest, and when we got through the forest, I met up on a river. No, it was this large body of water, but beyond the river I could see the place that we were supposed to go. And I said to myself, I remember the river you've been right here, so. And the persons were there with me, and I said to them, you know what, let's go back and find another way. And just as I was about to turn back with the people, there was somebody in the dream who said to me, Sandy, this way takes you there. And then when he said that, one by one the person started stepping into the river. And it's one of the most profound dreams that I've had today, because I remember so clearly everything that happened in it. As each person stepped into the river, there was somebody who came alongside them like a guide. And the person was instructing them how to move their way in the river. So the first person who went in, this person came alongside them, and the person was telling them, put your foot right here, put your foot there, and they were walking with them through it. And I said, okay, Zine. So it was my turn now, and I said, all right, I'm stepping in, but I was so scared because the water was so rough and everything, and then I stepped in. Now me stepping now, and I think to myself, okay, like everybody else, a guide going to step in alongside me and walk me through, right? Except there was no guide for me. My guide was on the riverbank. And I stepped in and the water was so rough and I was so scared. And the guide was there on the bank. He never stepped in, but he was instructing me. And he was saying, Sandy, put your foot there. Sandy, there is a rock. Walk right there. And I was moving and I was going through. And I got to a place in the river where the waters got really, really rough. And I thought I was going to go under. And at that time, the guide, he threw something in the water for me to hold on to. It was like a floating device. And that was for me to grab onto it. But there was somebody else in the river who was stronger than me. And that person held on to it so that they could stay afloat. And at that point, the waters pushed me to this section of the river where the waters were going around in circles. And I went in that section and I thought to myself, this is it. Me I go under, me I go drown. But I kept paddling. I just kept paddling, but the guide, he never stepped in the waters, not once. And I paddled away from it. And I continued walking through with him instructing me. And in that dream, the interesting thing is that as I progressed in the water, there was a time when the waters just ceased and there was nothing at my feet. And I heard in that dream everything for a season. And then I stepped out and walked towards the place that I was going. And when I got up out of that dream, I said to myself, I felt so exhausted because it really felt as if I had gone through something. And I got up out of the bedroom and I went to the kitchen to get something to drink. And I kept saying to myself, Lord, what does this mean? And as I was walking back to the bedroom, I got the scripture, Isaiah 43, verse 2. And it says, and when I went and I read it, it said, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. And And that's the NIV version. And there's another version which says, when you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burnt up. The flames will not consume you. And that's the New Living Translation. And it was only when I read that scripture that I really began to understand what I was seeing in my dream. And I really began to understand what the waters meant. And the waters represented difficulties, different trials that we go through, different things in our lives that just overwhelm us, that we feel like, God, we can't go through this, we can't make it through this. And we're so afraid of these things that's just going to sweep over us or just oppress us. Everybody's going through something different, whatever it may be. And the dream was so significant for me because every person who had to make the step and had to walk through this area of difficulty, they were not going through it on their own. There was somebody there with them who was helping to take them through, helping to guide them. And whenever I remember it, it's just that encouragement for me, and it's just something that I want to encourage you as well. That we will all face difficulties, we will all face different challenges, we will all face things that overwhelm us. But just to remember that we are not alone. We're not going through it alone. Sometimes I think to myself and I say, when I think about all the dreams that God has given to me and all the hopes that He has put in my heart, and sometimes I'm going through these things that are so overwhelming, and I said, God, this couldn't be it. This couldn't be the path. You couldn't expect me to go through this in order to get to the things that you have promised or the places that you have ordained for me. But it is a part of it. We have to go through it. But as the person told me in the dream, as I heard in the dream, it is just for a season. As you make your way through, things will get better. It will not overwhelm you. Even though there's a section in the river where there was this circular movement. Sometimes that could represent confusion. You don't know what's happening, you don't know what's going on. But still you won't sink, you won't go under. If you keep moving and you keep trying, you will move away from it and things will get better.